Hi, everybody. Karen Roby here with Ed Bot talking about the new Microsoft Edge. And Ed, you put a great article together here for us for ZDNet called The 10 Rules to Take Control of the New Microsoft Edge. And a lot of people have been kicking the tires of this, wanting to find out what it's about. And I think, Ed, some people, because is it based on the same code, correct, as Chrome? So people would be okay with it, right? Easy to transition?
Yeah, it's built on the same open source Chromium code base as Google Chrome. So it's natural for when people fire it up for the first time, they're trying out the new Microsoft Edge, then they'll think, well, this looks a lot like Google Chrome and I know how to use Google Chrome. And so, they'll figure they can just get started. And so one of the things that I was trying to do here was to really focus on the things that are different, where Microsoft made some design decisions to go in a different direction in terms of usability and such. Now, we're not going to go through the whole list of 10 today, but I got all those details in the article, but I want to focus on some of the most interesting ones. The one that I use regularly is a feature called setting up different user profiles. So I have a user profile for my Microsoft account, and that's where I keep my personal favorites, my personal settings, and the passwords for those accounts. Those are synced up individually. And then I set up a separate profile for my work account. Now that uses Azure Active Directory, which is affiliated with my Office 365 business account. And so that one is capable of syncing a completely different set of favorites, all the things that I use in work. And so by switching back and forth between those two profiles, I kind of keep from mixing up my work and my personal stuff. And that's always a good practice to get into. You can customize what gets synced. And right now there's about 4 items on the list. There's a few that aren't enabled yet. So if you go into the customization and you look there, you'll see that there's some items like extensions that aren't available for syncing yet, but that's coming soon. And there's an interesting feature called collections, which lets you save up a group of favorites or even bookmarks to specific places within websites and save them as little named groups. And so you can use those together. The other feature that's really, really, really different from Google Chrome is a feature called tracking prevention. And needless to say, Google is sort of in the business of tracking you around the web. I mean, they make all their money from collecting that information about you and selling advertising based on it. And one of the things that the new Edge has is a section that you can go to. You can either go through settings to get there, or there's a specific shortcut that you can type that I have listed in the article, and it takes you right to that tracking section. And if you leave it at the standard setting, the balanced setting, it blocks most trackers. If you turn it up to strict, it blocks trackers, and it has the effect of blocking a great many third-party ads too. So if you've been using an ad blocking extension, you might not need it for the new Edge. And then, of course, there's extensions.
Yeah, and extensions, yeah, I'm glad you said that, Ed, because people have a lot of them from Chrome, their favorite extensions. Will they be able to use those with this?
That's a really interesting design question that Microsoft had to deal with when when they were going through the process of speccing out the new Edge. In the old version, what Microsoft calls the legacy Edge, they had their own extension store, but it was, as you can imagine, had just a fraction of what was in the Google Chrome web store extensions. And so one of the decisions that they made with the new Edge is to make it possible for anyone to install any extensions directly from the Google Chrome web store. Now there's a little switch that you have to flick to turn on that capability. It's turned off by default. But one of the things I discovered is that you don't actually have to go looking for that switch. All you have to do is go to the Google Chrome web store and go to the extensions page. And as soon as you go there, Edge will pop up a little banner at the top of the page. and it will tell you, hey, we can install extensions from this store. Do you want to turn this feature on? And when you click the little OK button there, that feature is enabled for you, and you can you can install and begin using all of your Google Chrome extensions just as, and they will work just as they work in Google Chrome. Now, extensions like that can come in handy for the next feature that I want to talk about here, which is the default search engine. Now, that's another big difference between Google and Microsoft. Google has the Google search engine. Microsoft has its Bing search engine. Bing has about, maybe 15% of the search engine share in the world. But, it's still pretty good, but a lot of people prefer Google. So from the address bar in the new Edge, you can configure Edge to use your favorite search engine. And that could be Google Chrome, it could be Bing, it could be something like DuckDuckGo, could be Yahoo, or you could just add your own search engine to that list if you want to. Now, the interesting thing that comes up here, though, is that on the new tab page, every time you open a new tab in the new Microsoft Edge browser, it's configured to have one of three different looks for you. It has a search box. There's always a search box. And then you can have a background image, which is supplied by Bing. They're actually very cool images. You get a brand new one every day. And you can also get the Microsoft News feed at the bottom of that. And if you, depending on how you customize the new tab page, you can make two of those elements go away. But the search box is always there, and the search box always, whatever you type in that search box on the new tab page, always takes you to Bing. And if you don't like that, then what I've come up with is a list of some extensions from the Google Chrome Web Store that you can install that will allow you to customize the new tab page in ways that, that Microsoft won't allow you to do. And then the final thing that I talk about in the article is some of the most, let's call them annoyances that come with web browsing in the 21st century.
Oh, can I guess? Can I tell you what?
Please tell me.
Mine will certainly be, and I don't think I'm alone at all in this, Ed, is the pop-ups about notifications. Do you want to allow this? Is that it?
Yep, that's absolutely the one. That's and it just it drives me nuts every time. And I have to keep installing browsers in new systems as I'm trying out new hardware, and so I run into this probably 10 times as often as most people, and you keep saying no, block, whatever, and but you just have to keep doing that. Well, there's a setting, and I've got it documented in this article, where all you have to do is find this one settings page, and you turn one little switch to the left, and you will never see one of those do you want to allow notifications from this site prompts in that browser ever again. And that, to me, is worth the price of admission. But I've got a whole bunch of tips for Microsoft Edge. People seem to be really loving it, and they love those tips. And I'm also looking forward to people's feedback in the comment section below, because I want to do a part 2 based on the things that people ask me for.
Yeah, absolutely, Ed. Well, it always comes in handy, and people, you get the answers for people, make it easier so they don't have to go dig for it themselves. And so definitely a big help to all of us. And if we can do something about those notifications, those pop-ups, I am all in. So that's good news. All right, well, you heard it straight there from Ed. To learn more about the tips that he can pass on to you for Edge, make sure you check it out on ZDNet. Thanks for watching.